What's it like for you to come back and get to see one of your young proteges out here in the pros?
He's not young anymore. No, it's always a pleasure, and I look forward to the games he plays in Milwaukee and Chicago, so I get to see him play in person. But it's always a thrill. I'm sure it is for him coming back to these two places as well.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your relationship, because high school coaches are so important to athletes of really any sport, any age. You guys still text a lot?
We text, yeah. Usually me texting him about the past performance, not him, but the team as well. But yeah, not every game, but a lot of games, and just short texting message and stuff. And the only time I really talk to him in person is when he comes to Milwaukee, Chicago, and he'll come out early and shoot, and then come over and talk to me, give me about a minute or two, and it's very important for me. So it's nice to see him.
I was going to say, it's got to be a sense of pride to see someone who came in your gym as a teenager and now 16 years later.
Yeah, I'm very proud. I'm more proud of him really off the floor, what he's done for the Heat organization, for the Miami community, and even when he was here, he gave back a lot to Chicago, and I know he's given back to Milwaukee as well. So I'm just overly proud of the person.
Yeah. Now take me back to those days. Can you remember the first time you met Dwyane, first time he stepped in your gym?
Well, yeah, the funny story was I picked up his brother and a bunch of players. We practiced on a Sunday, and he had to hop in the car because there was nobody babysitting him. So I took him to Sunday practice, and we were actually we do an 11-man break drill, and we were down a couple guys. We only had 10, and his brother Demetrius says, "Why don't you let him participate?" And I said, "Oh, come on, because I think he was only in 7th grade at the time." And he got in the drill, and I went over to Demetrius and said, "Hey, this guy's pretty good. You got any more brothers at home?" He was really that good then.
Yeah. Tell us maybe what's your favorite story of coaching Dwyane?
Well, the famous game where we had to play 2 games in one day to win a Christmas holiday tournament. And first 5 minutes of the first game, he was very unselfish, throwing really nice passes to guys that couldn't shoot. So I kind of got on him a little bit, saying, "Hey, you got to shoot some more." And he says, "Oh," his eyes lit up. He said, "I can do that." And he ended up scoring 90 points in 2 games.
Wow.
Yeah. So and we won the tournament naturally. But yeah, he was pretty special that day. All because I yelled at him for not shooting.
Now, something that strikes me about Dwyane over the years, seeing you still around him, his sister, a lot of the same people that he came up with are still around in his inner circle. How important have you noticed that loyalty has been to Dwyane?
Well, that's what he's all about. It's just when you get to be close to him, you become part of his family. And I probably talk to his sister more than I talk to him, to be honest with you. And I always talk to his mother when I see her in Chicago. But it's a very close thing, and I feel part of the family. Because any big event and stuff, I'm usually invited as well, and it's neat. It really is.
Yeah. Do you kind of feel like, I know he had sort of this father-son relationship with his former agent, Henry Thomas, but did you at times feel you had that same sort of relationship when he was
in high school? We had a lot of conversations about, especially when he was going to take some visits, and anytime in school where when we need to talk about teachers and things like that, and more about how to prepare himself for college. I felt pretty much as a father figure there, but then after that, not so much. But I was very close to Henry. Well, Henry was a fantastic agent, and what a great guy to have on his side.
Tell me a little bit about his college recruiting. As we understand, there wasn't a whole lot of love for Dwyane Wade back in the day.
No, it wasn't so much that as that he really narrowed it down. He didn't want to play too far away from his house because he really wanted his mother to see him play in college. So he really limited it, and he fell in love with Marquette pretty fast. He had 2 other campus visits, DePaul and Illinois State, but really Marquette was his school. He just felt he had a fit with that school right from the start.
Yeah. Now let's flash forward a little bit here. Draft night, he goes number 5, first round, Miami Heat. As a coach, as someone who's seen him grow up, were you shaking? Were you nervous?
Yeah, I guess I was. It was funny because before I went to New York for the draft, and all the Chicago papers were predicting that he was going to be drafted by Chicago at number 7, but I got a call from Stan Van Gundy at the time before I left on the plane the next day, and he had talked about Dwyane and what kind of kid he was. And so I hung up the phone. I said to my wife, I said, "I think the Heat are going to take this guy at 5." And sure enough, that's what happened. But it was really an exciting evening.
Now you saw obviously the whole journey. Is it amazing to see a kid come from Robbins, Illinois, the neighborhoods he grew up on, to now, to worshiping a guy like Michael Jordan, who has a statue out here, and now 16 years later, he's probably going to have a statue.
I would think
downtown
so.
Miami.
I hope so. Yeah, it really is, and just the credit to him. Just the way he's handled the media that I was always, even in high school, he always handled the media pretty well. Always complimented the players on his team, and just always seemed so mature in front of a camera, and he's been like that his whole career. But yeah, it's just proud, and I hate to see it come to an end. But I'm sure whatever he picks to choose as his next venture, he'll be successful at that as well.
What will you tell him today when you see him for the first time?
Score some points, okay? Because we could use them.